welcome back to my channel. Tammy Talks here. Let's get into Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion, Season 2, Episode 3. They found love in a hopeless place. If you're brand new to my channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video if you enjoyed the content, and then hop into the comment section down below. Let's talk about this episode. Alright, y'all, so it starts off with, where last week's left off. It's still field day. Everyone is still out playing, doing a bunch of different activities. You know, they're playing volleyball, the egg races, all that type of stuff. So Safaree says in his confessional that he has not talked to Erica for about a week or two. They typically just pass off the kids, and that's about it. So then Safaree then said that he did not speak to Erica because he wanted to give her space. She looked like she was chilling. He just wanted to, give her that time alone. So he goes over to talk to Mimi. And I'm like, why is Mimi like the relationship whisperer right now? Like, Mimi is like the go-to. Everyone's like, let me go talk to Mimi. Let me go talk to Mimi. And it's like, why? Why y'all up in Mimi's face all of a sudden? But whatever. So they go to talk to Mimi. And he talks about Erica and how he can't believe that their relationship has gotten to a place that it is right now. Now, a lot of us know already that this is a storyline. Erica and Safaree are still together. Erica and Safaree, I don't think, ever broke up. This is stunts and shows, smoke and mirrors, whatever you want to call it, just for the show. But one of the riskiest things about when these couples do this and they get on these shows and they are willing to jeopardize their relationship, jeopardize their marriage just for a paycheck is it can really cause some real issues in their relationship. Maybe somebody takes the joke a little bit too far, but whatever. So he can't believe how far the relationship has plummeted at this point. And Mimi says that she can relate to that because of what happened with her daughter's father. Mimi does everything she can and not say Stevie's name. Girl, we know you're talking about Stevie. You and Stevie do not, he doesn't have a gag order on you. You can say Stevie's name. He's on the same show. But it's like, it is annoying to me how Erica acts like she can't say Stevie's name. Like, they are just in such an awful, awful place that she can't fathom to say his name. Stop it. So she tells Safaree that they need to start respecting each other. You have to find a way to coexist because there are two innocent babies that have been brought into this. So stop the foolishness. Y'all have to stop. So Mimi said they need to have a conversation so they can all get on the same page because you are going to have to find a way to co-parent and to coexist in a world where y'all can at least be cordial around one another. So Mimi tells him, go have that conversation with her, figure the shit out, basically. So Erica is doing her confessionals, her interviews as she calls it, and Safaree walks up and was like, we need to talk. And it's like, this is my thing with Safaree. Like, Safaree is such a spoiled ass little bitch sometimes. Because it's like, why you see her doing something, why do you have to walk up and interrupt? Because that sets a tone for the conversation. Because if I'm doing something and you walk up and rudely interrupt me like that, it sets a tone for how I'm going to feel, like going into the conversation. And Safaree knows that, but he just insists on acting an ass like that for whatever reason. So Erica's like, I have to do these interviews. They have to do confessionals. And Safaree is like, well, we need to talk. We got to talk. So they go to the side, and it's off rip. Safaree is like, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? And it's like, again, Safaree is coming in hot and heavy. Safaree gaslights her. Like, Erica, yeah, we know that she's loud and annoying and abrasive and extra and aggressive and all this other stuff. But let's not act like Safaree is not, like, lighting the match underneath her to get her going like that. So he tells her he doesn't know her anymore. And Erica was like, we need to establish co-parenting plans. And Safaree, like, low-key seemed kind of saucy. And I think it was because Safaree thought Erica was gonna, like, be on some, we need to talk about this, I want to be with you type stuff. And she didn't. She was like, let's co-parent, let's get that together, and then let's just be done with it. So he kind of felt away. So he basically, walks away with his tail between his legs because, like, he didn't get he did not get the reaction from her that he wanted. So after field day, they are all hanging out by the pool. Mimi has drinks and snacks and all this other stuff for everyone. And Amina goes up to Cisco and they are having this random ass, very forced conversation where basically Cisco is saying that that Amina is the cause of the rift between him, as if he did not play a part in that. Amina keeps saying that she did nothing wrong. Cisco, you're flirting with me. You saw me out there doing yoga. You were out there stripping and dancing. Cisco, on the other hand, is like, you knew that was my balcony. And it's like, we don't care about this. We don't care about this. Because this is for play. Like, I think them messing around might have happened before, but this whole scenario right here, stunts and giggles. Shits and giggles. That's all this is. All this is telling me that these intermingling reunion shows don't need to happen. Love and Hip Hop itself might just be done because this stuff is annoying. This is annoying. None of these are making sense. None of these storylines even seem. It's purely entertainment, y'all. It is purely entertainment. So Amina keeps saying she didn't do anything wrong. He was in the wrong. Amina keeps saying that nothing happened between them, but she's like smiling about it, like she's trying to let it be known that maybe they did mess around. I personally think that they did sleep together. And Cisco's not going to say anything until it's the right time to really throw it in Peter's face. And I think Amina wants to still keep that door open to keep messing with him. And it's stupid. Meanwhile, Rich is sitting there listening, and he said that Cisco is stirring the pot. As if Rich hasn't been trying to push up on Erica the whole time. So it's like, Rich, sit your old ass there and be quiet. I don't like Rich, y'all. I do not like Rich. Where is Olivia to keep him occupied so he can have somebody to talk to? Because Rich has no storyline, and Rich is gonna force himself on camera every single episode because he wants to get that check. Where is your baby mama? Is she in jail for killing that man? Let's find out about that. Let's talk about that, Rich. That's what we care about in regards to you. So then Mimi, Safaree, and Erica have this talk. Really, Safaree and Erica are talking. Mimi is there to facilitate, I guess. So Erica talks about how disrespectful Safaree was when, on his birthday, he was entertaining the Bobby Lytes, his friend, down in Miami. Safaree said it was his birthday and they are in a divorce, so he can do whatever he wants. She filed for divorce. He feels that in Safaree's eyes and in Safaree's mind, you don't want to be with me anymore, so I'm free, I'm single, I can do whatever I want to. Safaree's hurt. Safaree is acting out because his feelings are hurt. He probably didn't think that Erica would really file for divorce. So the fact that she did is kind of weighing on him. Is what I'm getting from there. So Erica said that, Safaree sold her a dream of what he thought he wanted. So I don't know if y'all watched what was it? Scared Crazies. It was something Scared Straight. It was some Fear Factor type thing where they had all these different VH1 celebrities on there, and they were doing all this random stuff for money. They were living in this haunted house, and that's where Safaree and Erica started to talk. And Safaree did used to tell her how he wanted to have a family and all this other stuff. So Erica feels that Safaree sold her a dream, and now he's over it. And it's probably really that Safaree is not really ready to be married. Safaree is not really the family type of guy. Safaree wants to be out in these streets, kicking it and partying and doing whatever the hell he wants to do. So Erica said that he abandoned her. Safaree gets very offended by abandon and said he didn't abandon her. And I'm like, well, yeah, you did. Because if if you're out partying and you're in Miami while she's constantly, while she's pregnant, which we have seen you left the baby shower. Anytime you like, and this was on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, whenever you guys are together, you turn around and you leave where she is. You left Atlanta and went to Miami during you guys' baby shower. That's abandonment, Safaree. That's abandonment. So Erica said that she doesn't want to be with him anymore. And then Mimi and Brooke Valentine are just like, well, you're just upset. If she don't want to be with that nigga, she don't want to be with that nigga. I don't understand why y'all are trying to keep this relationship together. Right? I don't understand whatsoever. So she starts crying and she basically says she don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want to talk about it no more. Safaree has gotten up and Marcus kind of led him away. And Marcus said that Marcus tells Safaree, stop treating her like she's a threat because she's loud. She's loud because she's hurt. That's how she expresses her hurt. That's how she expresses her anger. Marcus tells Safaree that he needs to not completely agree with her, but you have to understand her point in all of this, which is a great point. Same can go for Erica. Erica has to understand Safaree's point in this too. If you file for divorce, that man is going to feel that you don't want to be with him anymore. Erica used filing for divorce though as a way to try, as like a wake-up call. So she felt that her filing for divorce was her telling Safaree, like, this is what could happen. And she thought that the Safaree was going to turn around and come running back to her. And that's not what happened at all. So they both are doing these things that which they think is going to get the other to react the way that they want. And it's not working. So Shekinah comes over and says she's going to break it down for y'all. Shekinah says that there are certain things that men would just never understand, that women go through and how women feel about different things. So then Safaree said that Erica says mean things. And I laughed because it's like, Safaree, what are you, 5? He said that Erica says mean things. He then said that he is practically there all the time, which is interesting, Safaree, because you just said earlier that you hadn't seen Erica in a couple of months. So which one is it? Are you there practically all the time, or have you not seen her? Get your story and your lie straight. So Erica, meanwhile, we pan over to Rich, still talking to Cisco. Rich says that Erica could come holler at him and she really wants to make Safaree jealous. And it's like, this is so crass. Like, you look so thirsty. You look so unbelievably thirsty. Like, shut up, Rich. So Cisco was like, she's over here crying and that's what you want right now? So then Rich is like, I'm just joking. No, you thought Cisco was going to be on your side with that and it didn't work. It did not work. So Marcus tells Safaree, or Marcus says to Shekinah, Safaree just does not know how to be a husband. So Shekinah tells Marcus to teach him how to be a husband. Meanwhile, Brooke told us that Marcus cheated on her while she was pregnant. Is he really the best teacher? You want to know how to be a husband? Call Papoose. Call Papoose. Bring Papoose in to talk to y'all. But let's not act like Marcus is just an upstanding husband. So Shekinah wants them to shake on trying to get them back together. Marcus said, I'm not going to shake on that. So they decide to shake and agree that they are going to help them get to a point where they can be cordial to one another, they can co-parent, and they can at least be okay being in the same space with one another. So then they have, Brooke is talking to Booby, and she asks if he's in a relationship with Cyn, because he's been very close to her, that's all he's interacting with. And Booby said they are just talking and getting to know each other. He said that Brooke kind of brings out the best of him. She's like level-headed, and she is kind of like just a good influence on him. Y'all remember that Booby and Brooke were like play talking or whatever was going on with them on one of the seasons of Hollywood. So now we are at the 70s divorce party. So everybody just happened to have some clothes for a 70s party. Let's stop acting like this was a bright idea that Amina just had. Just go ahead and say, I planned a 70s party for tonight. Let's make it also our divorce party. Let's stop acting like this stuff is spur in the moment. Cause like, are they traveling with afros? Come on, y'all. So Peter says Safaree walks up. Peter says that Safaree always looks happy even when he's not. Safaree gets choked up. His voice cracks, say he doesn't feel that way. He said that Erica is painting him out to be a bad person and that he abandoned them. And then Safaree then goes on to say that he was at the hospital when she gave birth with his mother. But he doesn't feel the need to constantly post his kids to prove that. Here's the thing, Safaree. Erica's not painting you out to be a bad father or a bad husband that abandoned them. You are painting yourself out to be that way. Because when Erica was in the hospital and you were nowhere to be seen, you chose to post video of you in Miami. You chose to post video of you in Jamaica and try to make it seem as if those were current live videos. So my whole thing is like Safaree did all this shit to kind of troll her or to make it seem like she was alone. And so when she started to react and post as if you were, which we know is just for storyline, but like Safaree, you're making yourself look bad in the public. Because majority of the time when y'all are going back and forth, it seems like you have started the shit. Granted, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but as far as like the online stuff, Safaree is definitely starting that stuff off rip. So, then we have this scenario where Peter and Cisco apologize. They hug it out. Jonathan asks Erica if Safaree looks delicious. I believe she said he always does, but like they're not talking to each other. He's sitting there with his shades on, not wanting to look at her. She's talking to everyone else, not paying any attention to her. And I'm like, if this entire season is going to be about them, they should have just given them two their own spinoff. We wouldn't have watched it, but that's what should have happened. So we have Mimi talking about if she had not found her peace, how she's talking to Jonathan about how she has found her peace, and even though she, was with Stevie, then she was with what's his name, Nico, with the sex tape. Then she starts talking to Ty. She was engaged. Her and Ty are not together now. Now, in real life, I believe they are back together, but at the time of the filming, they weren't. And how she just feels like she's at peace, she's zen with herself. She don't want Stevie to come in and be typical Stevie and like bring up that old part of her, which is gonna have Mimi with that vein popping out, calling somebody a bitch, because that's what she does. So then Jonathan talks about how young gay boys look up to him, and he does not like the fact that Zell tried to weaponize him for being too gay. Jonathan was very, very offended by that. Mimi told him, bump that. Don't take what he is saying too personal, because Zell is battling some inner demons himself. He's battling some shit within himself, because he told Erica that he now wants to be straight and he wants to have some babies with a woman. So Jonathan is just like, I can't tell you that your blackness is too much or you're too acting too black. And we're like, Jonathan, we get it. But at the same time, if you're comfortable with who you are, Jonathan, and how you behave and how you're perceived and how you portray yourself and carry yourself, don't worry about what Zell has to say. Who cares about Zell? Who cares about Zell? So Amina walks out. Peter says that, never mind, y'all, I want to work it out. He thinks she looks good that night. Tara in her confessional said that she didn't get an invitation to the wedding, but she got one to the divorce. I low-key think that Tara is still a little bitter that she never got the ring and the marriage from Peter. I think she is. Tara has really no point to being on this show. No point. Unless y'all are going to sit here and fight, why is Tara here? But Peter and Amina talk, and Peter says that he will always love her forever. And Amina says that she loves him too, but not in that way anymore. She loves him just kind of like, your family, you are my father's kid, you are my kid's father. And that's really all it was. Safaree said it was too hard for him to act fake. Erica's like sitting over to the side on her phone. So he didn't want to keep acting like she wasn't there. So he goes over and sits next to her and talks to her. And she was just like, hey, she said in her confessional, she felt like awkward about it because she doesn't want to deal with the mess. Erica is now tapped out after their conversation from earlier. After all that went down earlier, the way that Safaree, was refusing to acknowledge the part that he has played in the dissolution of their marriage. So she feels away. She's tapped out. She doesn't want to deal with it. She wants to use the remainder of this trip because this is like day 2. She wants to use the remainder of the 2 weeks that they're there to just chill and relax. Safaree said that his energy is all fucked up and he doesn't know what's wrong with him lately. Erica said that maybe they just need some time apart. They need some time apart to regroup, get it together. She wants to take their relationship off the table and focus on just being parents and co-parenting. She said because they have, she just gave birth to that baby 2 months ago, to the little boy 2 months ago. Their daughter, I think, is maybe 2. And she feels that, like, these kids don't deserve whatever we are doing to them right now. Right? So she wants to take that off the table. And she wants to focus on, let's just focus on being co-parents. Safaree says that he does not want to lose her and starts crying. And I was looking at the screen like, Erica said that she can, in her confessional, said she cannot keep doing this with Safaree. She sees him, she sees the tears, she thinks he's being sincere, but a part of her knows better. A part of her knows better. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's what Erica is on. So she told Safaree that, Safaree, you have chosen to disconnect from us and you've chosen to separate yourself from us in a way that we're not doing anything to you. He said he doesn't have anyone to talk to. She was like, you have me. I am your wife, but you keep overlooking me. You keep choosing not to, connect with me in that way. So he tells her that he loves her, and she asks, how do you know? And he said, because he can feel it. I said, all right, Safaree. So he then apologizes to her for everything he said to hurt her. Erica in her confessional said that she just wants a healthy friendship. Notice Erica did not say I love you back. Erica did not apologize for anything that she has done. Erica is tapped out. Erica's done. All right, y'all. That was Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion Season 2, Episode 3. They found love in a hopeless place. I'm hoping this picks up. And it's not just about the Erica and Safaree show because it's getting played at this point. But I will catch you guys next week.